So we're going to have a little look at the weight painting here, because I think the main thing that we found that we didn't like as much about this was just the way that the shoulders move with it. I am obviously just moving the arm around now, so that's not going to happen, although it's quite dramatic swing back before a punch. But no, more likely when you're testing these, you want to be rotating rather than moving. So if we rotate it along, and to remember the way to rotate, I always imagine putting a skewer through it, like you're skewering meat. You got to think which angle, if you were poking a metal pole through it that you wanted it to rotate along, that's the axis to rotate it. So if we want this to go up and down, you'd be doing it through this Y line. So R, then Y, and then that'll allow it to only move on that Y axis. But is that local Y there? Oh, no, it is a proper Y. There we go. So that just lets it go up and down. However, if you press Y again, then it does do it on the Y that's local to what you've selected as well, which can be useful sometimes. But yeah, so I think the main thing that we didn't particularly like was the way that the shoulder operates when it goes forward. So if we rotate it via the Z instead, so rotate Z and move this forward, you see quite a lot of this back pulling around with it. So we're going to have a look at how the weight painting stuff works. So we're going to go back into edit mode. Now the weight painting, I need to try and remember where we actually did this. You texture paint.
Actually, you can stay where you are, and once you have the mesh selected, it's under edit mode. The mesh.
I thought I was in the mesh. What you meant?
So you have the mesh object selected, and rather select the mesh.
Oh, the cube. I don't. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. So we then go into weight painting. Oh, it goes to pose. So now it's stuck in my stupid dab pose. And yeah, one issue we had before was the mirrored, but I wonder if the mirror is going to impact it now as well. It probably will still. But okay, I need to go back to pose mode. And I'll have to go just back to normal pose mode now. And how do you reset the pose? Right click?
No, select all bones. Just in the pose mode, select one or A.
Yeah.
So remember,
Alt something.
Alt is resetting, right?
Yeah.
You want to reset the rotations, I guess.
Oh, Alt R. Yeah. Okay, sweet. Okie dokie. Okay, so now we'll go back into selecting the cube, go into the weight painting. Okay, so at the moment, red means it's not going to move much, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the impact of adding that bone in, I guess? Or... because that's the only thing where we've got a bit of movement. Actually, no, there's some on the back as well, though. Not too sure how it calculates, but this is does it automatically do some of them, right? Like some of the weighting.
Yeah, it does all of it.
Okay, but it only thought this was the bit that could be moved. That is.
And now you can go to vertex tab. It's under. No, it's above the material tab in the inspector.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can select the...
yeah. That's why it looked weird. Do you see what I mean? I was like, why is it only on that? Okay, so these are the weights for... so each weight painting is done per bone, is it? If that makes sense. Right, okay. So how this bone influences these vertices around it. Okay, that makes better sense now. In my mind, I was almost thinking of it as you just have one thing that you paint. So here for the... I wonder why the name has changed for some of these. Didn't I call one a head? Yeah, so it seems like they're both. It's got vertices groups for... I don't know if these were created before I started naming them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you have duplicates, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, it's all twice actually. So we probably want to get rid of some of these vertices groups, right? Vertex groups.
Maybe it happened when you were trying to reparent it, like clear the parent and create with automatic weights again.
Yeah.
Needed something wrong there. Not sure.
Can you just remove these?
You can.
So if I go up to where breast R is, that's the last thing on this list. And the top thing on the list is pelvis. Oh no, hang on. It's different. There's things like foot and toe and stuff. So I think it's made its own little groups of what it thinks things are.
Yeah.
Or, no, oh, it's the old, right, hold on. Do you remember this used to have a different bone thing attached to it, the original one?
Yeah, you duplicated the file, right?
I just did save as a different file.
Yeah, that's why it kept the metallic vertex groups as well.
The what? Vertex groups?
Meta rigifies.
Ah, right. Okay, so I should get rid of these. Any of the ones that aren't capital letters. Yeah, because all mine were capital letters. So I get... Oh, you can't select them all? That's nice. I just press delete on them. I press this minus. Does that get rid of them? Yes. Right, let's get rid of all of these. Right, until we get to lower spine.
Blender way of doing things one by one.
I mean, I'm glad there was a button, because that was quick, rather than right-clicking each one and going delete. Okay. So what we want to look at is if we're rotating around the left upper arm. And we want to paint here. So here is the weight. So weight would mean dark blue, would it? Yeah. And the bits that we want to move, we would. Okay. Now I'm interested in if the opposite one works. So upper arm right. Because do you remember last time we couldn't paint on it? Yeah, same. Really weird. But that's something we'll have to come back to, I guess, and do when we've actually got rid of that modifier, which is a bit of a shame. I wonder. Sorry for the noise. Blender 2.8. Weight paint with mirror modifier. The origin of the mesh has to be at the center. Mirroring only works when the mesh is symmetrical. I don't think this really answers the question, does it? I feel bad for these people. Oh, mind you, this is 2007. I mean, I don't think we can read something that's 13 years ago now. It's so different. It does seem to be slightly different to what we're looking for, but yeah, well, it's something we can look into another time, I guess. But okay, I'm just go. Even though we're not going to be doing that much painting, because I feel like we can't really change them on one side of the body, which defies the point of doing this really, because it's just going to have one side where it works well, and the other side look like they've had an unfortunate medical incident. But we'll go through all the bones and see how the automatic weighting is. So this will allow the front of the hand to kind of bend a lot more. Main point of the shoulder is there. Arm is there. Yeah, hands the same on both sides. So the neck, yeah, mainly uses the back, and that's what happened when we move this closer to the back. Is it lets the back bend more than the front, which I think looks more natural. Generally, how our heads work, right? So this at the moment is pretty much saying like the whole head can bend quite a bit. A lot, actually. I think. So that hip there. Hey, Caspixel, nice to see you. Thank you very much for dropping the bits. So basically, when this moves, it can influence the front of the stomach. But the thing is, this isn't going to move much, and that's what stops it from moving as much. I think that's the idea here, is this is telling it to stick quite rigidly to this. So this leg movement down here is probably then has very little influence on here. You see it still moves the butt quite a bit. So we could try and do the upper leg on the other side and like paint this to be a little bit less. Thank you, Spacey. How are you doing today, Caspixel? Okay, so we kind of gone through how they're all set up. I'm not doing more on it. The reason I'm not painting more is because it seems if we still have a mirror modifier applied to make our mesh, the weight painting only allows you to draw to paint on the side that isn't the mirror, if that makes sense. So yeah, as a result, that means there's no point really going full blown onto it. But I'd be interested now. What we can do, which would be interesting, is to see the difference between each leg because we've changed it. So let's go back to object mode. Trying to remember actually, do I have to click on this to get pose mode? Yeah, click on the armature pose mode. So I think we changed this leg down here. Ooh, okay, so that pulls it quite a lot down. I mean, let's try and let's look at it straight on. Okay, and then let's do a, oops, didn't mean to move this cursor there. Oh, that's what I was looking for, Alt and middle click. Let's switch around this way, try and rotate this one. I think it still looks the same to me, the end result. But you can see that line here doesn't move with it. Kind of stops and then it goes in it. Whereas if we go around the other side, is that still true? Yeah, it's still kind of true, isn't it? Maybe the mirror modifier does apply it to the other side, because they look like they're behaving identically, if I'm honest with you. But it just doesn't let you paint it. That would actually make sense. That would make sense. Okay, so let's go back into, oh crikey, how do we do this again? The painting, we need to click on the mesh, Go into here, go into white paint. We're going to go for the upper leg. We want to add a bit of weight. We need to make this a little smaller. It's a bit big at the moment. And we want to add a little bit of weight here. Strength here. I think this is what lets you build it up a little bit, isn't it? If we just fan that out a little bit like this. And then let's save this and go back to our other view. To do that, we needed to go into object mode, then click on the, oh no, it wasn't, we need to go in the armature, sorry. Then go into the pose mode. Let's go sideways and see how this joint moves now. Yeah, can you see it all bends in with it? Okay, so that's actually interesting. So it's not that it's broke. The weight painting, you should just only paint on the side that isn't the mirror side. Because you see this will behave in the same way now. So we only painted one side where they're both getting applied. So I'm glad that we had a look into that. So you are doing great. Checking out a mate playing the blue chibi rig. A blue chibi, chibi is little, like the big head, sort of, I guess, similar to this. But this was meant to be we used my pixel. I don't know if I've got, I haven't got it open in here. We used this. This was my game, the character from my game initially. So we tried using this as we turned that into a drawing that you can see here. Like that. Oh, it just had some extra lines as well, but the lines aren't drawn on. There they are. And then we made it into a model of it as well. Charlie Brooker. I know Charlie Brooker. I haven't watched much of his stuff though, to be honest with you. I do kind of agree with the sentiment of a lot of his stuff. He's clever. He talks politics and sense and stuff in a way that isn't boring as well, which is always refreshing. Where are you based then, Casper? Because I don't know if Charlie Brooker was worldwide sort of people knew of, or whether it's just a UK kind of famed person. You're in Greece, okay. Okay, so I think let's try and think how we want this actually to move then when we do this. When we rotate it forward, that stretching down doesn't look great. Like, it doesn't impact this. It pulls this all down. So that's not ideal, and we had that on the automatic one as well. So I'd like to try and see if we can do anything with that. And then the second thing, so when we go in, we're allowing a lot of flexibility, a lot of it to kind of go in. Where I guess what we want is this to fold in, this crease here to fold into the butt. I think that would probably look more ideal. So we almost want to completely negate it. Oh, Brian, did you hear what I was saying about the mirror weight painting?
Yes.
Yeah, so it does work at least. So it's not like there's a bug with it. It's just...
Yeah, we knew that it was working. Like we uploaded it in a Mixamo and it was working properly.
Well...
Because you painted the other side and we had the same behavior in the walking animation, for example.
Yeah, for me, I guess I didn't look close to monitor whether or not they were both doing the same, because it was quite a subtle change. But yeah, well, I didn't leave there feeling that. I wasn't sure what the situation was, so... But that could just be me.
It's clear now, right?
Yes. Yeah, So, okay, we need to go back into weight painting. So click on this, then into weight painting. And we want to do the rotation of the upper leg. We really want to kind of reduce this butt influence. So if we get rid of it all, so let's go completely 0. Strength there. Uh-oh. Did not let me paint. It is in parts, but oh, there we go. No, it's just taking a bit of a while. We try and come all the way around here and let just the bottom of the trouser area be the thing that is influenced by it. Okay, so we might try with that. See how that goes. We want that little bit of fade that we got going up there is okay. So again, we go back to our armature pose this. Okay, yeah, well, that's exactly what we said we kind of wanted, right? That we want the crease to be in the butt. We still lose a bit of their leg, but that's because I've still got some whiting up there. We wanted it to be completely... It's interesting that we still have some whiting up here, Brain. Because up by the shoulder, because look. I bet the shoulder moves when they run. So I must have left a little bit.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah. I think, but it does... The thing is, if you go completely down to this bit, when you go forward then, it looks... I don't know how that would look. I'm actually going to find out. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Let's go into the armature character, white painting. We're now going to try and just get rid of... Well, first off, let's find why the shoulder. Get this a bit bigger, shall we? 100% 0. Give that a good rub down. Okay, now I'm going to try and be quite harsh here. I think we need this to be smaller for us to target just this. As you see, I don't think the paint is actually from here. I think it's from the bit below it. This color, we can't actually unpaint that bit.
Yeah, and not having enough faces, you really struggle during the weight painting.
So you can only paint this. Is it seams, I guess, or vertices?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll leave that little bit of...
You paint faces, actually.
Faces, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So that'd explain why we can't do here, because we've only got one. So yeah. Let's see what happens then. To be honest, it's probably preferable it does that. The leg. It'll clip at the front. I think it's probably better than having it stretch around weirdly. I think it looks nicer. I don't know if anyone in chat's been looking. Do we feel that looks better, or still got a bit of this back movement going on? Maybe that's part of the anatomy. It looks better. Thank you, Caspixel. I appreciate that. I appreciate your opinion. You love him so much that you just seek out his stuff. Concave butt isn't ideal. Maybe less weight. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Solid little. We'll stick to that. I'm going to try and see if there's anything going on with his shoulder though, because it seems to be up here. So click on this. Back into weight. I feel at this point I kind of want to get rid of the bones just for a sec. There's an option. This always visible thing. No, it wasn't that one. Maybe it's on this actual thing. In front of that. Okay. Then we go back into the actor body. Now click on the actual mesh. Next time I gotta rename it to not be cube as well. I hate that. Okay, can we see any?
You can rename it right now if you...
Oh yeah, that's a point. Thank you. Yes, we do know about Mixamo. So basically, last week what we did is we got we let the rigging happen automatically. We used the automation kind of thing where there's an add-on. Oh, sorry, I just looked at my leg bone out. Yeah, the Rigify add-on for Blender. And today we wanted to try and make one from scratch to make sure anyone else, because we're doing this as a learning experience, and I'm trying to split or highlight the streams into sections as well if anyone wants to rewatch them. We want to try and explore it in case someone doesn't want to do a humanoid, for example, and to understand it a bit more. And for me, because I like to know. I like to know how things work. So, we ended up using the one from the Rigify last week, and then we tried a bunch of animations. It was good fun. So I will be going back onto that and see how this performs. I just want to try and fix up a couple more things first. Okay, I can't see any reason why this is moving.
Yeah, it's magic. Like Spaces said, maybe we need back nipples.
Back nipple bones, shoulder blades people call them, but we'll call them back nipples. But if we add those, then we need to unassign. Okay, so we'll do that shortly. I think we'll just test how the.
I think you don't have to perfect it that way. I mean, it's all right to have that muscle twisting.
That's true, actually. Yeah, for the sake of time, I think we should actually move on. But it's something that we could do if we wanted to, or if you're getting something that's going a bit weird in your model and you want to try and resist, and you can't paint it away, then I guess if you don't want to remodel it, then it's a case of maybe try add a few extra bones here or there. I never called myself I always hate that word because you say anatomy, that's easy, but you pronounce the ANA different when you use different variants of the word. So anatomicist.
Anatomized.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I think we're generally quite good though. We like the rest of the movement. The arm stuff was still looking good if I remember correctly. So when we click on the was it doofus and we got rid of the always show thing, didn't we? Yeah. So when we move this, quite happy with how that moves. The thing actually I don't like is it seems to pull out the neck a little bit. Like this bit here.
Mm-hmm.
So if we wanted to, as I said, I know this is just a practice model, and that, don't get me wrong, but it's just, these are the kind of things that when you're doing it properly, you might want to go and tweak, and so just get a little bit of experience of trying to fix these things.
Mesh.
Yep, so we click on the character mesh, we go into white painting, and we want to look how this particular bone behaves. Oh no, it's down. Hold on, I'm trying to think.
Vertex groups.
So it's in the actual, not the armature, the character vertex groups. Thank you. So it's the upper left arm. Yeah, here. So we kind of want to say, hey, leave the neck alone.
I like to keep the world outliner collapsed, so that's why I use the vertex groups tab instead of the outliner.
Oh, this thing, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can delete those green and cyan bits to achieve what you wanted.
What, this here?
Yeah.
Like some of it was fine. It was just more of the. Actually, no. I guess it would be more like the legs. You're right, actually.
And it has a lot of effect on even the stomach bits, right?
Yeah. Okay, we're not going to be able to do that because of the faces. There we go. I guess so.
Now you can push further through the armpit.
You think?
Yeah. Just try it.
I just worry about losing some of the organic, the stuff that looked all right, because you got to paint.
Don't worry about it. You are learning.
Yeah, so it feels like it's all or nothing in a way, right? Like this bit should be moving, so I think I might leave those bits. Where they are.
Maybe with less strength, you can fade it out.
It's the same kind of shapes. You can tell the way that it's impacted. I'll tell you what. I'm just going to go back to how it was, and we'll see how that behaves.
Yeah. Let's see how this works.
Okay. So we go back to armature. To our pose mode. Just go straight on. So now the neck doesn't move. A bit of movement on the shoulder, that's I'm okay with, and the armpit, like this bit comes out a little bit when you go up. Oh, look at the belly go.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be another one of our little... Oh dear. It's fine. What was it? Upper left arm we were working on. Here we got this. Right. Full strength. Rub that belly.
Yeah.
Maximum belly rubs.
Maximum armor.
Okay, we got that again, so we go back to the pose. Go straight on. Yeah, that's better. Hi. I think we're okay with that shoulder moving, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that looks fine. Sweet. I guess some of the other things we may want from this then is, I guess, how it responds to stuff like this. It's not too bad. I guess it's a bit pointy in that bit.
I think this stomach is still getting affected by forearm or something. I don't know.
Do you think?
Maybe not forearm, but shoulders, because it's getting squished.
Well, apart from this thing, it seems to be.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. It should have less effect on the waist.
Or with the waist, we need to kind of define where we want our waistline to be, yeah. And there it kind of cuts in a bit. I mean, it's not terrible, because to be honest...
It's good enough for whatever this character.
We're trying to say good enough. These are beautiful